Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Thursday, March 6th, and we are here trying to help you make better, more considered financial decisions. If there's something going on in your life, in your real life, and there is something about that decision or something you're contemplating that has to do with your money, we can help. Mark and I, Mark Talercio, the best executive producer in the world, and I are both certified financial planners. And we love talking to you guys. We just have the best time. And we are always encouraged by the notes that we receive. So don't struggle by yourself. Get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us that note. If you'd like to join us live, then all you need to do is check the box. Mark will do everything else. So listen, this is a big day for us because this is the last day that you can sign up to become a member of Jill on Money Live, because tonight we are conducting our live webinar with Ed Slott. Ed is a CPA, but he's so much more than that. I mean, he still does a few tax returns, but he is an IRA and Roth IRA expert. And he will be with us live during this webinar where you can ask in real-time questions to me, Mark, and Ed. So we're going to talk about tax season. We're going to talk about the scuttlebutt that Ed hears about what's going on with taxes for the year ahead, because there's going to be some kind of negotiation over whether or not to extend the original Trump tax cuts that took place at the end of 2017. So Ed's going to let us know what he thinks is going to happen. What's the path of likelihood that these get extended, for how long? And, you know, it's just great to have him because he's so good about really cutting through the baloney. You can join us if you are a member of Jill on Money Live. That means if you're not, you have until 12 noon, right this minute today, 12 noon Eastern time, to subscribe. It will cost you $45 for the next 12 months. You'll get the Ed Slott webinar, 3 more webinars after that. We've got bonus audio and video content going up behind the paywall. But again, you've got to sign up by 12 Eastern time. And Mark will then let you in. So it's very exciting to us. All right. Now, let us talk to the person who has been very patient. We have Fran, who is on the line from Virginia. Hello, Fran. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
We're doing great. What brings you to us today? What's going on?
Well, I have 2 residential rental properties, and I'm very concerned about all the federal layoffs and firings in the Northern Virginia area. And I don't know if I should sell. Should sell these investment properties.
Well, wait a second. Not to be crass about this, but maybe there's going to be a need for rental units because maybe people are going to have to sell their own homes and they're going to need to rent. But wait a second. Let's find out more about you. So, Fran, how old are you?
61.
And are you working or are you retired?
I am retired from the federal government.
Woo! Okay. Tell us about that. You're retired. Do you receive a pension?
Yes. Well, I'm under the new retirement system in the federal government. So I get a pension and Social Security, and I have TSP, which is like a 401k.
Okay. How much is the pension and Social Security?
That's probably about $70,000.
And when would you plan on claiming Social Security? 67, 70? What do you think?
Yeah, something like that, 67, 70. And then I also have my 401k.
Okay.
I do
Hold
have
on.
that.
With the Social Security, do you know what the estimate is for your Social Security?
Gosh, was it about $2,500?
Okay, great. Does the 70 grand of your pension right now cover your needs for the most part? Not maybe everything, but for the most part, do you feel like your needs are taken care of?
Yes, okay. I do.
So in the thrift savings plan, how much is in there?
Oh, about $2.5 million.
Holy smokes, Franny. My goodness. How'd you get all that money in there?
I started in the government when I was 23, and I just put the maximum amount in my 401, that's thrift savings plan. Yeah. And I just continued to put the maximum in for my entire 38-year career.
What was the most that you made as a government employee?
About 170,000.
So imagine that as I think about it, like you had an almost 4-decade career where you were making good money, not blow your mind crazy money.
No.
And you were able to accumulate all of this money. So what's your tip? Is the tip is start early and put as much as you possibly can, or did you do other smart things?
Basically just that. And I put most of my money in the stock market early on. Mm-hmm. Because I knew I was going to be in the government for my whole career.
So right now, you don't dip into the thrift savings plan at all, do you?
Yes, I do for travel.
Oh, tell me how much.
Well, I just retired in July. So, I mean, I just took out like $5,000 for travel.
That's it?
Recently. Yeah.
Okay. What about other, we're going to get to I promise we'll get to the rental.
Yeah.
What about money in the bank? What do you have?
Not a lot. I mean, I have like 20,000 in my checking.
Okay. Just like your slush fund.
Yeah.
Do you have any other investments besides the thrift savings plan?
No.
Okay. And now let's first talk about your primary residence. Oh, I didn't ask you. Are you married, partnered? Single?
No, I'm single.
Okay. Kids or no kids?
34-year-old, sorry.
Whatever, they're fine. Is that kid fully launched?
Yes.
Okay, so on their own. And how much is your primary residence worth?
Oh, my primary residence is worth about $650.
Is there a mortgage on it?
Yes, there is.
How much is the mortgage that's outstanding?
Oh, about $320,000.
Okay, and what's the interest rate on that?
Oh, that's like 4%.
Okay, great. And you like this house? You want to stay in this house?
Yes, I do like this house.
Okay, great. Now, let's talk about the rental property. So let's do rental property 1. What is that first property worth? About?
I'd say $850 conservatively. Yeah.
Is there a mortgage on this?
Yes.
How much?
Oh, about $300,000.
The mortgage interest rate, please.
Oh, it's the same. It's like
All
4.25%.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
And the $850, is that rented? Is that an easy property for you to manage? Like, give us a sense of is this the pain in the neck aspect of it?
No, it's not. I mean, I don't view it that way.
Okay.
Because I have the expectation there's going to be repairs, there's going to be things that happen, so it doesn't bother me.
Okay.
No.
How much rent do you receive from that?
$3,400.
Okay. The second property, how much is that worth?
That's worth it's a condo, a 2-bedroom condo. It's worth about $370.
Does that also have a mortgage?
Yes, it does.
How much is on that?
It's probably down to like $150,000.
And also in that 4 range or something more or less?
Oh, yes. Same thing.
Okay, got it. And for the condo, how are the homeowners association fees? Are those reasonable? Do you have any sense that could be rising in the future?
Yes, I think they're reasonable. And I just joined the board of that HOA. So
so you are keeping an eye on your investment.
Yes.
Okay, great. How much money does the rent bring in for the condo?
$2,300 a month for the condo.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Give me the type of person who would be renting the 8. Or do you have a long-term person who's been in both of these places? Does it turn over a lot? What's it been for you?
Well, the single-family home, the one that's $850. The renters have been in there for about 4 years, and I don't expect them to be leaving anytime soon.
Okay.
In the condo, I have more turnover on the condo because people
go in and out. They have a baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But both of these properties, you find you're able to manage them perfectly well.
Yeah, I have a fantastic contractor, so that really helps me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's take a deep breath for a second. So the question is, do you sell one, both, or neither of these? Mm-hmm. And right now, I mean, you've just so we are just checking in on the money part. The $3,400 a month covers, I have to imagine, this covers your mortgage. Does it cover all of your expenses for the single family, the $3,400 a month?
Oh, yes, and more. I mean, I get about $900.
Okay.
profit on that per month. Yeah.
Okay. And what about with the condos?
Not as much, just a couple hundred.
Now, neither one of them is a pain in the neck. You have a great contractor. So let's talk about the risk that you have right now. You have a lot of real estate, which, you're sort of over. I would say that like normally, and I'm not saying you're normal, but like normally I'd be like, oh, look at this. There's 300 grand of 500, 800, 900. You have like $1 million in equity in all of your 3 dwellings, right? Mm-hmm. Now, normally that might make me nervous, except you got $2.5 million in your thrift savings plan. Mm-hmm. So you're not in any danger at all. You basically live within your means. The 70 plus, let's say it's another 1,000 or 1,200 a month. So the pension plus the rental income plus a little bit of money that you pull out of your thrift savings plan covers your needs, right?
Yes.
So the big fear that you have is, well, wait a second. If these government workers are all going to get downsized, what happens to the value of my 2 or 3 people? Well, you don't care about your primary. You're not moving. Right. So what happens to the value of the single family? What happens to the value of the condo? Now, we just talked about that you have had renters for 4 years. Are they government workers?
No, they are not.
I like that. So that feels kind of more secure, right?
Right.
Do you think they'd be in the position to buy your house from you?
I don't know.
Okay. I mean, there's no urgency here. I'd hate to market time this. I hear what you're saying. Look, there could be a real dip in the real estate market for the Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia markets. There could be a lot of people who put their homes up for sale. There could be. But it's like, it's not as if 275,000 government workers are all living in the D.C. metro area. They live all over the place. They don't all own homes. Some of them do, some of them don't. Some of them would sell, some of them won't sell. So I don't feel like there's urgency here. If you said to me, these houses are a pain in the neck. I hate owning them. They're the worst. I want to get liquid. Fine. But that's not what you're telling me. If anything, I think the bigger issue that you confront right now is that you have all this money in the thrift savings plan. And I think you may want to take more than your $5,000 a year out of that, because you are going to get whacked with the distributions from that thrift savings plan. As you know, that hasn't been taxed yet, right?
Right.
Okay. So by the time you get to be, say, 75, and you're young, right? So this $2.5 million could be $3.5 million. And at that time, the government's going to say, hey, Fran, guess what? The 3.5, maybe it's even $4 million. We're going to take a slice of that. You have to take that money out every year. So I'll just say that maybe it's $3.5 million. That would mean in your first year, you have to pull out $140,000. That's a lot of money. Yeah. And that 140 plus your pension, plus your rental income, it's going to be at a tax bracket that is maybe not something you can control. So maybe what you do now is talk to your accountant. Did you file your taxes yet for this year?
No, I have not.
You work with somebody to do that?
Yes, I do. I have a tax accountant.
So I think you talk to the accountant and you say, look, I got all this money piled up in my thrift savings plan. And I think what you should try to do is come up with a way to pull the money out in a more methodical fashion. What do I mean by that? Well, instead of doing 5 here, 5 there, let's say to your accountant, I want to stay in the 24% tax bracket, which is about, for a single person, $200,000. So what I'd like you to do, accountant person, is try to plan on me grabbing that, whatever the difference is from my pension and my rental income. I want to pull as much money as I can out of the thrift savings plan, but I want to stay in the 24% bracket. And they'll help you with that. And then I think what I would like you to do is build up some of the bank, sort of the emergency reserve. And then maybe let's just pretend that you're going to pull 50 grand out a year. I'm just making this up just for ease. And 50 grand is enough to keep you in this 24% tax bracket. What I would do is I would take some chunk of that, 5, 10, 15, whatever you want to spend on your trips. The rest of it, I want to make sure that you've got, a good chunk of money in the bank, not too much, but, 30, 40 grand. But eventually, I think you'd like to have a nice little brokerage account that you could have access to. And if you ever sell the condo or if you ever sell the single family home, the proceeds from the sale of those homes would go into the brokerage account and you would be investing, not all stocks, a more balanced approach, but you would start to get the money all working for you in one account. Now, does that freak you out or does that make you feel like no big deal?
No big deal.
Look at you. There, she's on it.
Yeah, I forgot to mention I do have the bulk of my money in TSB, but I have been moving money into a brokerage account with the financial advisor.
So I think that would be great to build up that account. Slowly but surely try to get some of the money out of the thrift savings plan because it's going to be a whopping tax bill, girl. It's going to be a biggie. I don't think there's any real need to get crazy and sell the house. Mark, would you like to come on the air and give your expert analysis of a market about which we know nothing?
I don't see any reason to make a panic move. I mean,
I don't either.
I understand that everyone's kind of on edge, but kind of have that like this too shall pass kind of mentality.
Yeah, and I mean, you've got them, they're rented. If you said to me, oh, well, my renter of the single family home is leaving, both of them work for the government, they got fired, like all that, then it's a different issue.
Yeah, and you didn't have a $70,000 a year pension.
Right. So I think you should I think you're going to be fine. I really do. And I wouldn't be in a big rush to sell that. I really wouldn't. All right. Well, Mark, another happy customer. All right. We don't have customers, but another happy listener.
The invoice is in the mail.
The invoice 0.00. So if you've got a question, if you're worried about changes in your local market, anything going on in your life, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us that note, check the box if you would like to join us live. Don't forget that you can sign up for the free weekly newsletter right there on the website, JillOnMoney.com. Check it out. You can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Don't forget to do something nice for someone else today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.